Miss Fawn, how are you doing this evening? Hope you're staying pretty warm or staying cool up there where you're at, and hopefully none of those tornadoes up that way are hitting where you're at. I know the weather's getting pretty rough up that way. I don't know if you're still hearing the live chat or not, but hopefully everything's going all right. Hey, whoever jumped into. Hey, Miss Vaughn, how are you doing? Are you staying pretty cool up there where you're at? And hopefully none of those tornadoes are hitting where you're at. I know they've been getting some rough weather up toward your way this evening. I know poor old Iowa's getting hit pretty hard this evening. I don't know how many tornadoes have touched down over there, but I know there's been quite a few tornadoes. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting some rain tomorrow sometime, or at least a chance of it anyway. Finally got around to eating some supper. It's basically just macaroni and cheese, but better than nothing. It's been a pretty hot day down here. Went over to my cousin's this morning. She had a tree, or about half her tree fell while she was on vacation, and went over there, and it was a pretty good video. I'm getting a new series started about my time at working for the Heyman Homes, which takes care of people with mental disabilities and all. I think it'll be a pretty good little series now, and give y'all some insights on how all that works and how it's done and all. Hadn't worked there in a while, but some of the people I've talked to, it's still pretty much run the same as it was when I was there. Even though they started paying people better and everything, it is nice they're still treating the people right. I wish I could have some sweet tea. Right now, I'm stuck drinking water at least until tomorrow. Even though I don't like water and everything, right now it's better than nothing. And then also this morning I went around looking for some deer and turkey and everything, and kind of had a fun time out, seeing about 2 deer and 5 eagles and about 3 or 4 turkeys, something like that. Got hot pretty quick this morning, and stopped by the courthouse to look at a war memorial. Not for tonight, there ain't. There will be tomorrow. I just ain't had the money to get none today. As unfortunate as that is. But yeah, when I was out at the courthouse earlier, I stopped by a war memorial. They got a war memorial thing set up at the courthouse that got all the names of the guys who sadly passed away and or got killed in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and the Gulf War. But yeah, Miss Fawn, it ain't no fun not having Dr. Pepper, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So it's one of the few rare days y'all catch me without any Dr. Peppers. Plus, I figured y'all would enjoy an extra live stream this week, so even though it's going to be a short one, I figure get on here, see how everybody's doing. I don't know how many's going to show up since it's kind of the middle of the week and everything. We had a singing at our church Sunday night that was pretty good. Had a pretty good turnout for it, and had more food there than you know what to do with, but it made for some pretty good eating. I ended up going through about 2 bottles of Dr. Pepper Sunday night, which was all right for me. Some of the people that was there wasn't happy, but hey, like I told them before church started, if you don't make it to the Dr. Pepper before I do, you're just not going to have none. Sweet tea's better for you anyway, Miss Fawn. And I don't know if any of y'all ever had squash casserole, but if you ain't never had it, it's some pretty good eating. I highly recommend it because, even though it's not really good for you, it is some pretty good eating. We had that, hot dogs, chili, some kind of melted cheese stuff you could put on the hot dogs that I didn't care too much for. And then we had, see what else did we have? Oh, we had some vegetable soup there that was pretty good. And yes, here in the South, we do eat soups, even though it's in the middle of the summer and almost 100 degrees out, or right at 100 degrees out. But, when you're living down here in the South, you get used to those things. And you still love it anyway. And if you ain't never ate the mud pie dessert, that is some pretty good eating. And then, yesterday was kind of a boring day. Outside of just going to work and coming back home, I really didn't do much. Got finished up on mowing the yard and everything, and almost had a heat stroke doing that. Yeah, soup is pretty good. I enjoy all the varieties of it, especially if it's homemade soup because it tastes better. And then, something about homemade soups taste a whole lot better. And I took about a 2 hour nap earlier. Wasn't really trying to, kind of just happened. But it was still a pretty good nap either way. And then ever since I got back from riding around and helping my cousin, I just kind of just been taking it easy and staying inside. And she was nice enough when we was helping her out. She did buy me a milkshake from Jack's. That was pretty good. That's the first milkshake I've had in probably about 3 weeks. I mean, it was a strawberry milkshake, which is my favorite to get. But I wanted to get chocolate, but I settled on getting the strawberry milkshake, which is good. And it helped cool me down having to be out there in that 100-degree heat today. And hey to whoever else popped up into the live stream with us. We talking about food and taking naps. The one thing I like about Jack's is, I don't know about everywhere else, but around here they got I think you can choose from like 15 different kinds of milkshakes. When you go there, it's they got the standard strawberry, vanilla, and then chocolate. Then there's the cookies and cream, orange sherbet. Then there's a peach, and then they got a pumpkin and something else. I usually try to stay pretty careful in there. Once I'll work till I start sweating and getting a little dehydrated, and I'll take a break for a while and rest up and get hydrated and go back at it. And it didn't take long to get that mess from the tree cleaned up. My dad kind of cut it up into little easier to manage pieces, and we got it halfway cleaned up. And she decided, hey, we're going to go into. Well, we didn't leave the mountain, but we went up to the gas station here where I live, and we went to Jack's first and got a milkshake, and then went and got got the gas for a lawnmower and everything, and then went back and finished up what we was doing. And she had just got back from vacation yesterday, and she wasn't feeling good. Think she might have food poisoning. And she ate, while we was at Jack, she got us, and I'll probably watch it, or at least go in there and see what's going on when he has it. His live streams usually are pretty good. And she got her 2 of those, I think it was like 2 for $5.55 pork chop biscuits, which I guess if you're coming off the tail end of a food poisoning, ain't exactly the healthiest thing you want to grab and eat, but it's hard to beat a good pork chop biscuit. Then we got back home, or back to her place, and it took about, 10, 15 minutes to finish up. I kind of cheated on getting a bigger pea or finishing up when we got back. She's got one of those big zero-turn lawnmowers, and I got a chain and hooked the bigger piece of the tree in the back of the lawnmower, and where you put your feet and all that the rest, it was big enough. She put the smaller stuff on there and piled it up and got it all in one big swoop. It took longer unloading it. It did actually load it up. And then we took a look at a lawnmower and found out one of the things that helps hold the helps hold the lawnmower blade into there and helps spin it and everything is messing up. So sometime tomorrow we're going to go get that fixed. And I'm moving up in the world and got him another apartment. Well, looks like it's back down to me and you in here, Miss Fawn. Looks like the other two done bailed on out on us. Apparently it was too boring for them. Be nice if some of them actually started jumping in, helping with the conversation. I don't know where Vanna's at tonight. She might be having to work or have something going on, but I didn't figure coming live during the middle of the week there'd be a lot of people to show up. Which is fine. We got me and you in here, Miss Foss, so we'll make it fun for a little bit. And I've thought about getting me a different place because where I'm living at now, it's been in the family since 92 or 93, something like that. So it's a 31-year-old trailer, and it's getting to the point that I moved into it after my place got destroyed by a tornado, but it's gotten to the point where the trying to keep it fixed up is getting to be more of a pain in the butt. So I'm kind of looking for a different place, or at least getting a newer model trailer to move into where I was living at and putting it there and everything. What are they doing to you, Miss Fondy? As annoying as a dog can be, you gotta love them, though. That was like the other day when I was doing a video outside. I don't know if he appeared in the video or not, but my neighbor's dog came running up and jumped on the porch where I was at and hung out for a minute. And they got one of them Siberian Huskies, and they're pretty beautiful dogs. I'm sure it's pretty miserable right now because we're in the middle of a heat wave. And we haven't gotten rain in so long, so they're more of a cold weather dog. They're more set up for cold weather, but I'm sure it's having a hard time adjusting to this heat here, but it's still pretty young, so I'm sure it ain't that bad on it. And I noticed while I was over at my cousin's earlier, one of her neighbors had let a few of their horses out, and they was going around eating the grass in their yard. I got to thinking, well, that's one way to mow your yard if your lawnmower's tore up. Hey, them pit bulls are pretty good old dogs. I had a chance to get me one, but it didn't work out financially to where I could get it. But pit bulls are a lot better of a dog than most people think they are. Even though they can get up between 50 to 100 pounds. They think themselves more of a lap dog than anything. Or at least the ones that my friend and his family have. They think they're lap dogs and want to sit right in the middle of your lap and get right up in your face wanting love. And what's funny is one of his female dog ended up having puppies. And they're cute and cuddly until I think it's between 6 and 10 months. They turn in what I like to call velociraptor dogs, and they want to gnaw on everything. And then once they get to a year old or older, they want to be lap dogs, even though they're full grown and weigh about as much as a 12-year-old kid anyway. I'm thinking about getting one once everything gets kind of straightened out financially and I can get into a better place than what I'm living. Because like I said, this is a 31-year-old trailer that's kind of falling apart and everything. So I'm kind of waiting on all of that to get sorted out and settled down. But we'll get there one day, Miss Fawn. And that's pretty much been all the excitement since I seen y'all on live stream Friday. Saturday and Sunday I went riding around looking for deer and turkey, And the one thing I noticed for about almost 6 days straight, we've seen deer, and that's kind of unusual to see them 6 straight days in a row. Usually, you'll see them once, or you might see a couple of them one day, and it might be a month later before you even see more. But since some of these cornfield and bean fields are starting to produce corn and beans and everything, they're going out there and eating them, and it's making it easier to get out there and get food and seeing them and all. I had some of those growing up that my uncle used for bird hunting, and they may be good dogs, but I've always been a German Shepherd and a Pit Bull fan. Now, when I was growing up, we actually had a Rottweiler that made it to 10 years old, and I know a lot of people think those are violent dogs, but this one here is pretty much a big old baby, or at least the one we had. And what was funny was one of our neighbor dogs at the time, it was a German Shepherd, got in there, and she had a half pit or half Rottweiler, half German Shepherd babies. And I hate to talk bad about how a dog looks, but that made for some of the ugliest dogs you ever seen. I would highly recommend not breeding Rottweilers and German Shepherds together. Yeah, Miss Fun, they are pretty dogs, or not pretty dogs, but yeah, they are fun to look at. And around here, it's always a good chance if you know where to go, you'll see them. And that's one of the main reasons we like going where we're at. And but yeah, it got up to about 5 of us in here, and 2 of them kind of vanished off pretty quick. I reckon they didn't like talking about Rottweilers and German Shepherds. But yeah, those 2 breeds of dogs mixed together do make for some ugly babies, I'm not going to lie. And it had the features of a Rottweiler, and they had the hair of a German Shepherd and the nose of a German Shepherd. And dear Lord, I must say that made for some nightmare field animals to look at. And I wish I could have took some pictures. Hey, Miss Vanna, you showed up. We was just talking about you a minute ago. At one point, there was about 5 or 6 of us in here, but everybody kind of vanished, and now it's the 3 fun ones in here, unless somebody else shows up. How's everything out toward California way? Hope everything's all right and y'all are staying safe out there. We was just talking about when I was younger, we had this Rottweiler we was taking care of, or pretty much adopted him from my uncle's. Oh, you're all the way over in Georgia. Who in the world am I thinking about in California then? Well, anyway, how's everything going in Georgia? Y'all enjoying the heat wave like we are over here in Alabama? Yeah, I was talking about my neighbor's dog was growing up, got into our dog pen and got our Rottweiler pregnant and made for nightmare fuel puppies being born. Yeah, this morning when I woke up, it was 64 degrees outside or something like that, 64, 65. But it didn't take long for it to get up into the 90s right at 100 degrees. I ain't seen Gabriel come through in a while. I hope everything's all right out there where he's at. Hope nothing's happened to him. Maybe he's just been busy. Well, what was funny is they had a Rottweiler body with a German Shepherd hair and a German Shepherd nose. And like I said, it made for some nightmare fuel level puppies and everything. And believe it or not, Out of the 12 puppies she had, two of them sadly passed away while they were still puppies. They ended up passing away not long after they were born. But the other 10 that made it, believe it or not, we actually sold them. And we was getting anywhere from like 150 to 200 bucks a puppy. And I think we made right at $3,000 off those dogs. Now, what happened to them after the people bought them and everything, and however many of them made it to adulthood, I don't know. I only ever got to see one of them after it was full grown. And dear Lord, the full grown size of those dogs is even uglier than the babies were. The full grown ones, it kind of looked like a dog went through a meat grinder, and that's what the full grown version of those dogs look like. And how these things made it to adulthood or however many it is beyond me. But the last time I heard from them, it actually made it to 12 years old before it passed away. So outside of the looks of it, I guess it had a fairly normal life and everything. I just wouldn't recommend mixing those two breeds together. Well, this one, we wasn't intending on breeding her with it. We had actually intended on getting her fixed, and we did anyway. But this was one of those, while she was in heat, the neighbor's dog snuck in there because we didn't put a top to where we kept her outside. Because in the spring and summer, we usually kept our dogs outside. And then in the fall and winter, we usually had a spot on the inside for them that we called the dog's room, that where they could stay warm. Because even though it didn't get that bad here in the South, and needless to say, if you do get into breeding dogs, you can make some good money off of it. One of my uncles bred bird dogs, and it was nothing for him to make $300-400 off per puppy he bred, because he always had them pure blood bird dogs, and he done that for years and years and years, and it was, he done that for years up until he had his stroke and had to give it up. But there's good money in it. And I ain't never been to Indiana, but I hear it's a beautiful place up that way. A guy that I grew up with, that's where his family's from's up there in Indiana, the Manning family, if you know any of them, Miss Fawn. And then I went to Oklahoma one time, even though I vaguely remember it. I was like 7 or 8 at the time, and all I can remember is just flat land all the way through there. I ain't never been to Utah, but I got a sister that lives in Colorado, or at least the last time I even talked to her, she still lived there. Her and her boyfriend or common law married husband, whatever they want to call themselves, moved up there when weed became legal out there and opened up one of them stores that sells weed and everything. Last I heard, they was doing pretty good with it. Well, I don't know if that's something to brag about, Miss Van. And that's kind of scary to think about. But I don't think I'd make it in Colorado because I hate snow and real bad cold weather. And what we get here in the South's just perfect for me. Very little to no snow. And the winters aren't that bad. Even though the last couple of years, they will get like there was a Christmas before last. We had that real bad cold spell where it didn't get above 13, 14 degrees for almost a week. And then it finally warmed back up and we was into full-blown spring after that. And this year, right around February, we got a little bit of an ice storm that came through, and it didn't get back above. It didn't get it back above like 18, 19 degrees for about a week, and then on that Saturday it got up to like 25, and then Sunday got into 40s, and then that following week, pretty much springtime weather started. Hey, I love it because it doesn't snow around here myself. Like I say, I'm not a cold weather person. I hate it. People around here can't drive in regular weather, but if you throw rain or even snow and ice in there, and their driving gets a little worse. Even though when I lived in North Carolina, I learned how to drive on snow and ice, and I'm not half bad at it. But all my years of going mud riding and off road and kind of taught me how to drive on that type of terrain. So I got pretty good at it. Now, when I lived in North Carolina for a couple of years, each year I was there, we got between 3 and 5 foot of snow. But they kept their roads in better condition than we do around here. Which, like I say, we don't get enough snow and ice and sleet to really worry about. They didn't really invest a lot in the street department on getting the stuff we need to keep the roads looking good. But now, if you want some excitement, even though the last couple of weeks up there toward Oklahoma and Indiana and Iowa and all that, now they've been getting some pretty severe weather, and we're just wishing we could get some rain down here, because it hadn't rained here where I'm at in probably about close to a month now, and we ain't had no severe weather in probably about a month and a half. I imagine that made for a fun drive. That what we got in February, that little ice storm, as they like to call it. There was about 2 days I didn't go to work, but the rest of that week I was able to go to work. Mainly because I'd stayed in a friend's house, and I wasn't on the mountain for that whole week. I kind of put in a cheat code and stayed at a friend's house in the valley, so it was a little easier to get to work, but I did have 2 days where I couldn't go in. But I was able to go in for the rest of it. It wasn't all that bad to get from where he was at to the Scottsboro Walmart. But yeah, if it was up to me, it'd probably stay in the upper 60s, lower 70s year round, and maybe the middle 50s to lower 60s for nighttime lows. And that wouldn't be too awful bad for me. Now, when it comes to the plant life and everything and the wildlife, they might not like that. And it would probably throw stuff into a fit for a while, but it'd get used to it. I could live with those kind of temperatures year round. And plus, it makes going fishing a whole lot easier because crappie love that kind of weather. Yeah, 70s weather is easier to be outside, or at least it does for me anyway. When you're a big old boy like me, the hotter it gets, the more miserable you get. Now, 60s with no winds blowing, it'd be all right. But we never get that lucky when it gets to being like that. But it definitely makes it easier to be outside. Well, all you miss right now, as you can see living here in the South, when that humidity kicks in, it is absolutely horrible. It's like somebody turned on the furnace on full blast and got a machine behind it blowing some wind, and that's all you feel all day. makes it feel more miserable than what it really is. But at least we got a pretty good little old crowd in here hanging out with us for a little bit. Trying to get in the process of getting me a different vehicle, but like I say, with everything lining up all at one time, it's getting kind of interesting to get stuff going. Yeah, I got essential heat and air, and like I said, this place being an old place and the insulation's not that great, so it kind of struggles in the heat. Now, in the fall and winter, it did pretty good on keeping everything warm, but it kind of struggles in this heat to keep it cooled down. But it keeps me cool and everything, at least for the time being. So I can't complain too much about it. And if it was up to me and I could afford to do it, I'd get some of those window units, because those do pretty good around here on keeping the place cooled down. Because believe it or not, half the time they work better than the central heat and air. Yeah, I'm working toward it, Miss Fawn. It's time to take it one day at a time and all that. And hopefully y'all like this new series I'm coming out, but I'm still going to do the talking about Walmart. Yeah, they does get a pretty good smell coming through, Miss Van. I'll admit that the smell from them is pretty good. And it actually puts me to sleep when they're running. But like I said, I'm still going to do the Walmart series. And still uploading, random stuff through the week that's going on. But like I said, this new series is going to focus on pretty much what the everyday life and working at a mental hospital type place is like. Because I know there's a lot of misconceptions on that. So hopefully y'all like that series. And I'll try to keep it labeled, as far as, the title of the video and everything, so y'all know what's going on. You got plenty of them going on, Miss Fun. Now, if you want to have some fun, do like my grandma used to do. Now, she had a furnace in her house to keep it warm in the fall and winter, plus gas heat. But in the spring and summer, all she had was ceiling fans and opening the window. And at one point, she invested in box fans and put it in every single window and turned it on. And that one got pretty exciting with all that crosswind, and sounded like a bunch of helicopters flying around the house all day. But it kept pretty cool, believe it or not. Because without them, it got pretty miserable in the heat down through here without those in there going on. And furnaces, they do pretty good. They'll run your light bill up. But overall, they do pretty good on keeping your place pretty warm. And kerosene furnaces do pretty good. And Miss Fawn, that ain't good. Have to get that fixed before winter gets back here. Because I know up there in Indiana where you're at, it gets pretty cold up there and y'all get some snow going on. So that'll be pretty cold if you don't get that fixed. Or invest in getting some gas heat in there. That does pretty good. Have to do what most us others do down here when you got them turned on. Get you a something that won't melt. And fill it up with water and set it up on there so you can get some condensation going through, and it won't completely dry everything out. But that ought to be a pretty rough fix on getting all that fixed. And hey to whoever else may be in here with us, you can jump on in now to the conversations. And And I'm planning on going to the movies this weekend. Don't know what I'm going to watch yet, but I know I'm going to the movies and watching a few good movies since I ain't got really much going on. The only time I got big plans going on between now and the end of next month, uh, July 4th, I know I'm going to a cookout and watching from a distance fireworks go off because Goose Pond, y'all have heard me mention that they've had an annual event that's been going on for 60 years where they'll have a band playing all day. They'll open up the pool and you'll have a variety of games and different stuff going on, and they'll have a live bands playing throughout the day. And right about 9 o'clock at night, they'll have a big fireworks show. But the possum drop's pretty fun if you ain't never been to it. It is well worth going to watch, and it's pretty fun. And you'll find a whole bunch of different variety of food and stuff like that to eat and do while you're there. But I'm planning on going to the cookout and then going to watch from a distance the fireworks get shot off on the 4th. Because there's a spot I found a few years back where I can watch it from a distance and not fight the crowds when you're trying to leave because there's well over 3,000 people that show up to watch that, and then everybody's trying to leave all at the same time. And depending on where you are in that line of people trying to get out, it can take anywhere from an hour to 4 hours to get out of there. So you'll be stuck there for a while if you actually go to Goose Pond and do all the event. Maybe one day you'll get to Miss Fawn. Maybe one day everybody, be able to meet and y'all that are subscribed to me and, watch me and all that. We like a get together one day or something. I don't know how far down the line that'll be, but that's one of my main goals to eventually have something like that, have like a meet and greet going on. But yeah, Miss Fan, if you come here to Goose Pond to enjoy that, if you see me out and about, don't be scared to say hey. I may go down there, listen to some of the music, and eat some of the sweets people bring through there to sell, and then I'll be dipping out to go watch the fireworks from a distance. Miss Fawn, we'll find a way to get it all going good. Even if we have to come to Indiana. And then right around the 11th of next month when my birthday gets here, I'm having a big celebration for that. Having a little get together, having to cook out and watch some movies and play games, I'm a pretty approach. I'm pretty much the same in person as I am online, except for I'm a whole lot funnier when I'm not online. For whatever reason, when I upload a video or do a live, I try to be funny and it really doesn't come off as funny. But in real life, I am 10 times funnier. And I'll pretty much talk your ear off while we're hanging out. Show you some of the sights and sounds around here you may not know about. Because even though it may, on paper, the northeast corner of Alabama where I live at may not look very entertaining, but if you know the right places to go and the right people to get a hold of, it can be pretty fun around here, and you ain't got to do nothing illegal to have fun. Or at least I don't do nothing illegal, and what few people I hang around don't. I can't speak for the rest of them. I know when we was at the courthouse earlier today, there was a guy getting arrested for bringing drugs to the courthouse like an idiot, because he was there to meet his parole officer, and why he didn't leave his drugs at home or have it hid in a vehicle. He threw it into the bushes right there in front of the courthouse, and apparently one of the investigators saw it and ended up getting arrested. Miss Fawn, you'll have to get over being shy and just get in there talking like the rest of us. And yeah, Miss Fadden, when you come up and everything, I'll show you the tricks of the trade of driving by random cornfields and being able to get some corn without getting in a whole lot of trouble for it. If you know the right places to go, where there's not very many houses, or if you can find a spot where you know there's not a lot of traffic coming through and they can't really see you that well, that's the best places to go. Because right now we got about 4 or 5 different spots that we can hit to get some corn and not have to worry about getting any trouble or caught. And it usually works out pretty good. That back down to 3 of us, or 4 of us now. Guess the others didn't want to participate in the talking and the fun. They missing out. And if you want to get brave, we got some bean fields around here, but nobody really messes, or soybeans, but nobody really messes with them. And we got a few cotton fields that nobody really messes with the cotton either. But yeah, Miss Von Vanna, I wouldn't mind showing the tricks of the trade on that. At one point, I think they got up to like 4 or 5 of us. But there's usually about 3 of us that really talk. And when Gabriel's here, there's about 4. But some of them, the rest of them that don't pop in and out, really don't speak a lot, which that's all right. Maybe one day they'll warm up too. Well, we got Zach coming through. How are you doing today, Zach? Hope everything's going all right wherever it is in the world you're at. It's nice seeing a new face pop in here for a little while. If there's anything you want to talk about, don't be scared to, say whatever it is you want to talk about. I'm sure we'll get a good conversation going about it. Earlier was talking about me having to go a whole day without having to drink Dr. Pepper, which is no fun. Because if anybody knows me, I'm a big Dr. Pepper fan. We'll have to get you out of that, Zach. If you hang around us long enough, you'll get to be part of the family and come in there with the rest of us. But it is nice seeing you come through. I don't know what part of the world you're at, but I hope you're staying safe and all that. Oh, I always choose Dr. Pepper over Coke. I'll choose Dr. Pepper over any drink that you throw out there. Because when it comes to drinks and the orders, I love it. It's Dr. Pepper, sweet tea, root beer, and then Dr. Pepper, sweet tea, root beer, and then Coke, and then if nothing else, Sprite, and then Powerade. Well, I know there's a video on Bayou's channel of me and him going on a ghost hunt. I still go ghost hunts on my own. Every now and again, I'll team up with some of the other locals around here that do it. But I doubt I'll ever upload it to YouTube. Because, as you know, and then everything, there's a lot of these fake paranormal ghost hunters out there that has loaded videos up to the YouTube that pretty much made us who do it for real and don't think anything look bad. And if most of y'all don't know what we're talking about, there's some bigger channels out there. I'm not going to name no names in case they get butt hurt over it, because they got people who look for stuff like that. But cream soda's pretty good. Now, I'll get that Dr. Pepper cream soda, that's pretty good, or the root beer kind. But it's not something I drink a whole lot of. But there's some bigger YouTube channels that go on ghost hunts, and they fake everything they do. They overreact. They never fail to catch something, whether it's voices, uh, stuff getting thrown, them getting pushed, getting scratched, slapped. And it just makes the people who take it serious and don't fake stuff in a bad light. And they have went around actually, and there's been action channels that have been proven they fake everything, and everything, but they'll start personally attacking the people that prove they're faking everything, and it's just one big old mess to, if you want to upload something genuine to prove, it can really be done, there's real stuff out there, people are going to put you in the same category as them. And yeah, Miss Vanna, Mountain Dew's all right. So I loved Sprite when I was younger, mainly back in the 90s and early 2000s. They had this promo going. I don't know how old you are, so I don't know if you'll remember this or not. But they had this promo going that you could win a free 20-ounce Sprite. Now you'll find the lists where you lose more than you'll actually win them, and that's the only reason I love Sprite. Because more times than not, I was getting pretty lucky and getting those caps where I could win a free Sprite. And unfortunately, even though I should drink it more than I should, I only drink water when I have to. And High C's pretty good, and 7-Up. 7-Up's all right, even though it's almost like drinking Sprite to me. And I never really got into what Coke Rewards does, so I guess you'll have to inform me what all they did, but I now heard about it, but never really looked into what it did or offered and all that. Oh. I know a few people that did that, but never really got to the point to where they could do much with it. But I guess I can see why people got upset with all that. And Zach, I hope you're still around. Hope we didn't scare you off. I noticed a few people left, but I hope you're still around and everything. And there's nothing wrong with drinking a Coke. Like I say, I'll drink it if I ain't got none of the others on my list to drink. It's pretty good from time to time. And but to the I don't know if this guy's watched or not, but to the one who mentioned he got hired on at Walmart as the buggy pusher, they really don't do nothing on the inside of the store. They mainly stay out in the parking lot getting buggies. About the only time they really do anything different is if a customer buys like a big screen or a flat screen TV or something bulky that they need help putting in their vehicle, they'll help them load it up and everything, or if they see somebody that's elderly or disabled, they'll help them load their stuff up. But outside of that, you're just mainly pushing buggies all day and playing dodgeball with vehicles, so you don't get hit. That's basically about all your day really is, just spending all day, every day outside your schedule there. And that's good, Miss Fawn. When it comes to my channel, my 10, I don't want to scare nobody off. I try to make it a place where everybody come in, they can, speak their mind, be a safe place to, kind of speak your mind or talk about anything, and nobody fly off the handle and get mad or anything. Uh, I used to somewhat like diet soda when I was younger. My aunt and uncle, we lived in, drunk Diet Coke all the time, and I got burned out on it. But in all honesty, diet sodas are a lot worse for you than the ones that aren't. Just something about the way they make it's a whole lot worse for you than the actual undiet stuff. Coke, looks like Coke was trying to take over the market on getting people to come in and drink their product, and kind of backfired on them. I don't know what made Sprite stop doing that whole. I think it only lasted for about 2 years, but I don't know what made them stop that promo. But they stopped it, and their sales went way down. And if Coke was smart and actually had done their rewards a lot better than what they was, they could be making a whole lot more money than what they are now. And then you got poor old Pepsi. Not a lot of people around here drink it, even though I do drink a little Pepsi every now and again. I was too, Miss Fond. I was kind of shy a little bit. I ain't never didn't even know Coke had a museum. I've only ever been to 2 museums in my whole life, and didn't even know Coke had one. But it might be something I check into, and one day when I have the money to do it, may go check it out and see if I'm able to make a video on it or whatever. Oh, well, that's not very far from where I think Atlanta's about a 3-hour drive from where I'm at. Yeah, I like RC Cola from time to time. Usually when I go shopping, I'll buy me an RC. And even though it may be last in line to drink, because like I said, Dr. Pepper will always come first in line for me to drink, there is an RC Cola in there. RC Cola is kind of like the unofficial, at one point was the unofficial, official drink of the South. And then Coca-Cola took over. But RC is one of those underrated drinks, even though I think it tastes like a Pepsi. It is still pretty good. And a lot of times, if you ain't careful around here, when you say RC and you don't add the cola to it, people think you're talking about the Royal Crown alcohol drink. Because that right there is a pretty popular alcohol around here. Don't know why. Tried it out one time, didn't like it, didn't care too much for it. I was more of a moonshine and vodka kind of guy myself, but to each their own on what they like to drink and don't drink. I mean, I'm not gonna down somebody for what they like to drink and everything. I used to know this one guy, well, I still know him now. All he drinks is water all day, every day, and I don't see how he does. You can't get him to drink nothing else. Last time I drank something that was apple flavor, for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. It came out in like 2016, and it came out in these little cans that were probably about that tall or whatever, and it had 10% alcohol volume in it. It was wild apple something, but you can get it green apple or regular apple. And, me being the idiot I was, even though I was 32 at the time, I was like, well, I want to try this out. and tried the fry. I bought me a little 8-pack of it, and I drank the first one. I liked it. Next thing you know, I'm down in all 8 of them. Like an idiot, I should have known better and down in 8 cans of 10% alcohol value like that. And I couldn't tell you what happened the rest of the night, but I was staying at the hotel at the time because I was renovating the place I was living. And I got to be pretty good friends with the people at the hotel there, even worked there part time. But apparently, from what the second shift guy, which his name was Don, he was a pretty good guy, but he said I had ordered me and him some suppers from Marco's Pizza, which I should have told him I wasn't in the right state of mind on that. But I got the boneless chicken wings, and I forgot what he got. And then I wandered over to the Hardee's next door and got me and him milkshakes. And then apparently I went on a jog, which anybody that knows me, I'm not running or jogging anywhere. Made it back home or made it back to my room. And the next morning, when I woke up, I felt like I got ran over by a vehicle. It was the one and only hangover I ever had. But my head was throbbing, the light, noise, and smell hurt. I was dry heaving. I was making promises to God. And I went to church that morning, which I shouldn't have, because some of the people there, they got a good laugh, said I looked like I was every color of the rainbow at one point. And I made the dumb mistake of stopping at Hardee's on the way back and got me one of those greasy hamburgers they got. And it didn't stay down very long. And it was just a miserable day. And it wasn't Fireball. It was almost like almost like a wine cooler, but in a can form. I can't remember what it is. It was crisp apple something. I just now remember the first crisp apple something. I don't even think they're still around. I think they lasted 2 or 3 years and they quit selling them. And yeah, Crown Royal, no, the bags that the Crown Royal come in are pretty nice. I'll give them that. And the bottle looks pretty that they put the Crown Royal in. But I'm just not a real big fan of I tried it once, wasn't a big fan. And I was always a vodka man myself. But needless to say, that was one of only 2 times I ever got so drunk that I wasn't in control of what I was doing, even though I didn't do nothing crazy. Now, I've told this story before, but the worst drunk I ever got, I was hanging out with this guy, my friend, I was friends with, he was married to at the time. This was 2007. And anyway, her dad had long since passed away, but she found some, he used to make Wild Irish Rose homemade. Well, anyway, she had found a big old jug of it. If you ever seen any of them old moonshine jugs, they used to put moonshine in way back in the glory days of moonshine. He had it put in one of those. And it was a 10-year-old bottle, so it'd been aged really well. And I was off of work that night and off of work the next day. They invited me to hang out and, kind of reflect on her dad and everything. I was like, all right, I'll come help you cheer her up and everything. And I'd never had Wild Irish Rose. And at that time, I only weighed 150 pounds. This will sound like this is going to be something gay, but it wasn't. But after about the 3rd or 4th glass of that, it was just blackout. I couldn't tell you a whole lot what happened. One part of my memory was playing phase 10. And then I kind of blacked out and woke up, was sitting on the couch watching TV or watching a movie. Couldn't tell you the movie we was watching. Then I kind of blacked out and I woke up in the bathtub with a sandwich sitting on my stomach. And nobody remembers making the sandwich or where the sandwich came from. And then I blacked out and woke up and I was sitting on the toilet. And I remember looking up toward the door and I blacked out again. And I woke up in a pasture 2 miles down the road, laying in the middle of this pasture with a lawn gnome surrounding me and a group of cows off to the side there looking at me. Don't know where the lawn gnomes came from. Don't know what kind of weird ritual that went on. Don't know if it involved the cows or not, but thankfully none of them had no weird hybrid cow-human babies. And to this day, believe it or not, I could take you to that cow pasture to this day because I got to be good friends with the guy who owned it because he got a kick out of what happened. He laughed his butt. He wasn't mad or nothing. He got a good laugh out of it, and we still talk today. But I could take you to where that field is right now, and the grass is still not grown back from where I was laying down there at. And like I said, I don't know where the lawn gnomes came from because, where do we pick them up at? Who did they come from? Did I bump into some witches and they done some weird witch ritual? And if they did do some weird ritual, what in the world was it? Might explain some few things that happened over the years. But yeah, Miss Fanny, it is definitely, it'll definitely take you. You definitely throw you for a loop waking up and you not remember getting there and there's cows looking at you. Well, if that's true, I hope somebody got some excitement out of it because I don't remember nothing that happened. Kind of wonder how I did if we ever did that. But needless to say, it was interesting. And believe it or not, I didn't have no hangover. I just don't remember what happened the whole night other than those few little couple of snippets. Well, if somebody was showing me some hospitality and putting the lawn gnomes up for protection, I don't know what they were protecting me from, but it sure did kill that grass I was laying in. So, needless to say, that made for, and like I said, to this day, even though they've long since gotten divorced and married to other people, we all still look back at it and get a laugh. They have a few memories here and there they remember of it. And like I said, I still bump into the guy that owns that pasture and we still get a good laugh out of it. But sadly, those days, or I don't know if you could say sadly, but happily, those days are long gone. And I'm getting too old to be doing stupid stuff like that myself. But anyway, I want to get off here. I got a pretty early start to the day tomorrow. We made it to a little over an hour. It's fun. I've enjoyed it, and I was glad to see more people show up. But I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's evening. Y'all stay safe and cool out there. And if you're up there where them storms are, I hope you're staying safe in them. And I will see everybody in the next video, and this was a highly enjoyable live. We managed to keep at least 6 people in here toward the end of it. But I hope everybody has a good rest of their evening, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Maybe that'll work. See you next time, Zach. I hope you enjoyed your time with us, and I hope you have you a good rest of your evening.